Good afternoon, everybody. It's 4:03, and we'll call this meeting to order. Yes.
Commissioner Coffey?
Here, yes.
Commissioner Tiley? Commissioner Henry? Here. And let me just read that statement. I'm sorry, I missed it. Commissioners have had the opportunity to review the agenda and have no conflicts requiring recusal or abstention.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation. I'd like to take personal privilege. When I walked in today, there were some bags set on the table out front. And my understanding, Country Day, I don't know what division of the school did that. Anybody know?
Yeah, it was like all grades. They did it from kindergarten, and then the older kids helped the younger kids. And on the wall behind you are some more of their drawings.
Let's see that. Oh. That was very thoughtful of them to do that. And I do see a letter that Dennis wrote.
Yeah.
So thank you for doing that.
Well, there's a little video too. That
Yeah.
we should send
Yeah.
a link to you. Pretty cute.
Yeah. And do we do career days over there for the road commission?
I don't think.
For future engineers or?
That's my knowledge. We haven't, but we can look into it.
Yeah, what would be, what hurt, you know, I don't know what they do over there. I know it's a great place. So that was nice seeing that coming in. Then also I was at a meeting for Oka County and Dennis submitted something about the road usage. So that was good information that you sent over.
Yeah, Craig and Cindy worked pretty hard with Daryl to gather all that data on how many hours we spent, the tons of salt. It just kind of puts things in perspective. I know there's some people here that are coming to talk about subdivisions, but the number of days we've been out and the number of hours we focus on the higher volume, higher priority routes, which means we're not getting into subs like we would like, but that's all data we have.
And then we do have people attending that meeting every attending the
EDI? Did you miss an EDI?
I may have been out of the country at the time.
But tell the chair you've been going.
Yes, I have been going to that meeting. I was actually on vacation this past one.
Okay, no problem. I appreciate it. All right. Item number 3, we'll go to the approval of the agenda. It's been moved and supported. Is there a second? Is there any discussion? None being, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 4, public comments. We limit it to 3 minutes, so we'll keep a timer up there. But the first person we'd like is Austin or Irwin, I believe. Austin? Say your name and your address for.
Yeah, these are around too for anyone interested in the copy.
My name is Robert Loazzo from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Thank you, everyone. I'm here from Sci-Fi Networks, representing our area Fiber City project in Farmington Hills and Farmington, Michigan. What I'd like to go through today with the commission is a general overview of our project and ask for some support and cooperation as we kick off our 2026 construction season here in March. We're installing nearly 3 million feet of fiber optic through Farmington Hills, offering high-speed internet service to nearly 45,000 residents and businesses through those towns. And a significant amount of our network runs through RCOC streets, and we have over 25 open permits in RCOC jurisdiction. We've completed about half of the underground footage there, and we expect to complete the second half in the spring of this year.
So what's the completion date?
We will finish the entire project by September. Finish construction, everything fully serviceable by September. And we hope to finish the RCOC portions by June as well. We'd like to do construction in one permit area at a time, one permit area per week, and cycle through having 3 open areas at any time, one in punch list, one in inspection, restoration, and then one in active construction. On the second page, the work we did through the course of 2025 and 2024 took us nearly 16 months to do the equivalent amount of work. A lot of that was getting through permit review and approvals. Now we have all of our permits reviewed and approved. We're just in the construction phase. We've had some challenges in the field trying to coordinate the remaining construction work at the end of last year. We want to start ourselves off on a good foot heading into this year and do everything in Sci-Fi's power, always underground our construction company here with me as well, in their power to build in the RCOC areas, be safe, commit to quality restoration, and work cooperatively as possible. So my contact information is on the back. I don't know if it's appropriate to go through any questions here now. I'm happy to answer anything. Email, set up separate calls, whatever coordination this group finds beneficial to make our construction season successful.
How many people do you have working on the project?
I'm 200 plus at any one time. Yeah, over 200.
Or they're all local people in the community, or?
Yes.
And you're coming here just to give us an update, or what's your request here?
I'd like you to review the project, and I think our request is to find ways to work in this new construction season. What would make all that go efficiently, and what you need from us to make that happen.
But everything goes smooth the first phase?
We had some challenges we overcame, for sure. I think we are all on the same understanding now with the field inspector and with our local project representative. There's some improvements all around. We want to make those improvements and not spend 6 months talking about the history that what it was and spend 6 months actually constructing and working properly.
They got a lot of rules, regulations you got to follow, so.
That the work that they're trying to do this year, it'll unlock about 20,000 new residents having the access to new service, internet service. So I'm from the investor in this project, so we invested nearly $100 million in those 2 cities, and this RCOC work in particular is going to unlock more residents and businesses having capability for this service. So just want to throw that in there.
Do you have any state funding for this? It's all private.
All right.
And have you done any other communities around here?
We are active in 10 different cities across the U.S.
What about in the metropolitan area?
We only have Farmington Hills and Farmington in Michigan.
So far, okay.
How long has Sci-Fi been in business?
We just hit our 10-year anniversary at the end of last year.
Anybody else have any questions?
I do. So you mentioned that the workforce was local. How did you all manage to do that being from Pennsylvania?
So I'm the Director of Program Management for Sci-Fi Network, so I oversee all of our projects across the U.S. We have local teams that do the day-to-day operation for the design and construction. James here from Always Underground hires local crews who run the machines, install the fiber, and do the customer installation.
I think she's asking where you get the workforce.
Right.
How do people apply there?
Oh, sure.
Or get an opportunity to work there, right?
Yeah, we rely on Indeed for a lot of it, and word of mouth. That's how we get most of our workforce.
Not easy, right?
Yes, not easy.
Are they any prevailing wages on that project, or? All right, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Every time.
We have another person. Is David Peltz here? David, we're gonna give you 3 minutes.
Yes, the cross be very brief. Good afternoon, resident of West Bloomfield. This is a subdivision issue. I want to make sure that you know that I'm very cognizant of the fact that there are priorities. I'm well aware of that. However, as a lifelong Oakland County resident, having just moved to this area where I am now in West Bloomfield 3 years ago, I've never experienced anything like this. The subdivision I live in, which is just off Eden Lake Road between Commerce and Richardson along Middle Straits Lake, in the just about 3 years that I've lived there, has not seen a single plow or salt truck one time. And my neighbors have said the same thing. Those who've lived there before me have said the same thing going back even further than 3 years. And the neighboring subdivisions have all been plowed. They've all been taken care of. I've called the road commission several times. I haven't gotten any answers, so that's why I decided to stop by today to try to see if I could figure out exactly why we never get service. The roads are for people walking their dogs and everything. If no one's come by all year, they are hazardous. They are icy. Lunches bit of ice and snow, thankfully, not every day, but generally. So my address is on the sheet. And I just don't know if this is normal for northern West Bloomfield or what, but it does create hazardous conditions that I just.
Let us look into it, and we will get back to you. Is your in there too?
It is, yes.
Okay. Yeah. Let us check. We have equipment in most of our vehicles that will let us know if we've been on the street or not.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
What number were you calling, leaving a message at?
I called I think it was the main number on the website, and they directed me to one of the departments. So they said
Somebody.
I'm sorry.
Would you speak with someone?
I did speak to somebody. Unfortunately, I did not get the name this time. This was about 3 weeks ago. I had called once before last winter, and they said they would pass the word on. Yeah, there's been no follow,
So you called once last year, then once,
Yeah.
you called 2 times then?
Yes, I don't know what anybody else in the subdivision is doing, but I was, that's my experience.
All right. They'll look into it and you get back, let you
Thank
get back
you
to
so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else wishing to speak under public comments? No, none being? Okay. Okay, we'll go on to item number 5. The approval of the minutes of January 22nd, 2026. So moved.
Support.
The move is supported. Is there any discussion? Nothing needs to be corrected or anything? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Again, motion carries. Approve the minutes of January 22nd, 2026. Item number 6. Disbursements, A, B, and C. So moved. It's been moved and supported. Is there any discussion?
Yes. So just curious about DACO resources, there's 61473.
What page?
Human resources, page 1. 6A. 6A. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. That is temporary staffing that we utilize typically for people who are out on leaves of absence.
Okay, so that's the company that we typically use.
Yes. Yes, we have a great relationship with.
Lovner, which is 61479. It has to do with the healthcare trust and retirement. It says non-departmental. Anybody? Is there some little more information?
Yeah, Harding Lovner is the money manager for the healthcare trust, health savings plan for retirement. It's an expense of the plan. The road commissions the vehicle to pay it and the plan reimburses.
Okay, so basically maybe like management or?
A management fee.
Okay. All right, and do they manage like all of our accounts like that?
No, just retirement investments. Our like road fund, we can't invest money in the market like that. It's just for our savings.
Okay. How did we get this company? Did we put it out to bid or something?
Yeah, so, our overall plans have a, investment consultant, and we diversify the investment. So, Harding Loebner would have been part of a manager search at one point in time for the aspect that they, cover.
Excellent. And how often do we like review those services and fees and determine whether or not we want to seek other?
Quarterly, we measure their investment performance compared to their peer groups. And we have this watch list criteria. And if they fail 3 of the 10 2 quarters in a row, they usually get on watch. And then if it continues, we look to replace.
Okay. How long have we had them?
We've had them at least 10 years.
Oh. And we know their fees are like comparable to the rest of the industry, what they're charging us. Thanks for that. Okay, and then the next one I have is 515675 Carrier and Gable materials, and then it just says inventory. I was just curious, like, is there like a department that goes to?
Carrier and Gable supplies traffic signal parts.
Okay.
So it's typically a traffic signal head, controller, any parts associated with traffic signals. So we go out for an annual bid,
Okay.
and then that gets put into inventory for our.
Okay, I think that's the thing. Thank you. Okay, so there's a few like this, but I think that if I can understand better from one, that'll be it. So 61555 Viking is a capital outlay for road equipment, and it's 1.5 million. So I saw a few capital outlays for road equipment, so I'm just assuming that that's in the budget, and perhaps maybe these were like previously approved.
Yes, these are board approved. We're buying snowplow vehicles.
Okay.
Parking sizes and our,
That's one of the Peterbilts that we bought?
they do the equipment that, yeah.
That was it. Thank you.
You have any? I had 2, on page 1 of 3.
A, B, or C?
Yeah, I believe it's A, and it's 64178, 64178. Foster Swift Collins for legal services, and then risk liability, whoever that is.
One check, but 3 invoices. So that's a combination of the audit that we had to do. They prepare an audit letter. Every attorney, every outside counsel provides a letter to our audit team for purpose of disclosing out the audit. So that was one of the invoices. And then there are multiple invoices related to, we have an outstanding insurance matter where one of our previous insurance companies had gone bankrupt. So the state of New York has taken over the claim. So we're actually in the middle of cashing out that claim. So we get the money from that claim. And so the attorney from Foster was helping us with that.
And then I had item Adler Services, 515666, outside equipment repair for central operations.
That's towing.
So I heard it was, yeah. So our vehicles break down in, and
Yeah.
that's one tow or is that a couple tows?
That I don't know. I didn't see the number, but we've had a few breaks.
It's which 61.
515
Oh, okay.
666.
Oh, that's more than one tow. That's $8,500 almost. That's,
Yeah, that's far more than one.
yes, that's many. One of our issues right now is we're a little short. You'll see one of the items later in the meeting is getting mechanics. we've been a little short of mechanics, so we're hiring Adlers to do some of the towing so we can keep the mechanics working on the truck.
All right. So we're not using that because we're short-staffed?
No, we still use it. We still use it. It's just,
Well, when we're in,
on the daily
yeah, it
priority.
depends on the day. If we're in winter maintenance operations, we're gonna call Adlers to come get the vehicle, because we want mechanics working on vehicles, and we want operators driving trucks. So the best thing to do is call Adlers.
So with the, I did review these things, and you're gonna ask for approval for 4 mechanics. So that should correct it where we will have a person be able to.
Well, again, Eric, it's gonna depend on what time of day. If we're still in winter operations, they're gonna be preparing vehicles. It might be gonna take one out. Because
Yeah.
you go up to the yard there and you'll see there's trucks stacked up waiting to go in.
But if we, what do we gotta do to man that up to have a?
On some of these days, we couldn't have enough mechanics in there. It's just, we have to find the right. You guys use it. Huh?
In the summertime, it's used a lot more
Yeah,
frequently.
in the summertime, we use it with our own troops.
Yeah.
We're getting the equipment, but now we don't have the man, it sounds like.
Well, we have,
So maybe if we need more, to hire more people, let's do it. And
there's 4 mechanics, but I'm just not gonna equate, we're hiring 4 mechanics and that we're not gonna use, we're not gonna use Alders. I can't do that.
Yeah.
I mean, we got the beautiful equipment there, but that's fine.
We're using it, right?
Yeah.
You use it.
All right. Is there any other questions, with disbursements, A, B, and C? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, none being, motion carries. Item number 7.
Second board approve the permits as submitted by staff.
The moved and supported. Is there any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, none being, motion carried. Item number 8.
We can do A through D is recommended board adopt the resolutions accepting the deeds and easements for reporting.
Support.
The moved and supported. Is there any discussion? No discussion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Item number
9.
9.
Second board adopt the resolution amending the 2026 budget to add 4 full-time mechanics.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Do we already have people in mind, or are you gonna put a thing out? Or,
We've been interviewing solidly for months. Mechanics are hard to find right now, but we've been interviewing. We think we have most of them covered, correct, Jolene?
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Does anybody ever want to apply for it in-house, or they don't want to do that, or?
Sometimes we get transfers if they have the correct skills.
And then do we have where do we recruit from for this?
We look for trade schools, local colleges, so the community colleges, if they have programs, we post there. We always post on like the major websites also, like Indeed and stuff like that.
Okay.
They typically do pretty good at giving us applicants.
Does OCC have a program for auto mechanic or no?
Off the top of my head, I don't know, but I know for sure that we do advertise there.
Okay.
And we are going to their career fair this year also.
Awesome. All right. Any other discussion? I'm glad to see that we're manning up the workforce. So, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, none being, motion carries. Then when will these be hired, you think?
Well, as soon as you approved it, I can put in a requisition for them, but we've already done a lot of the interviewing, so I'm hoping within the next, they have to go get physicals and there's
Yeah,
some,
there's a pre-hire process
yes.
that takes place
So it'll,
as soon as possible.
Probably 30 days, 60 days?
Sure, you drug test.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's drug tests, physicals, background checks. It all just depends on how long, and if they currently have a job, they need to give a 2 weeks notice, or at least 2 weeks notice. So it's ideally 30 days.
And then when they may have to jump on a truck sometimes too, right? Right. Yeah, everybody on deck to plow. All right. Thank you. Okay, item number 10.
Recommend board approve the appropriation transfer, our first one for 26. So carrying forward spent hours to the fiscal year.
The moved and supported. Is there any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, none being. Motion carries. 11B.
A through E we can do. Recommend the board approve the contract authorizations listed.
So moved.
Support.
The moved and supported. Is there any discussion?
Yes. So just curious, if this is like a standard, so it looks like we're increasing, their contract value.
Well, the snow is, we just put a little bit in the budget. They work when we call them in, they send us an invoice and then we have to ask you to authorize it.
Okay.
And then the tree removal one is the tree contractors offering us the same price for this year as they did last year, so might as well take it.
So I'm more so focused on 11B.
Okay.
And so it says that the awarded contract amount was $112,500. And it says the net change is $125,000. So I'm just curious, what's the kind of, just some clarity around that.
Which one, a B or D?
11B is in dog.
Okay.
The word sewer.
Yeah, no, what that's doing, that's the same as the 11E. What it is what they carried over their prices from last year. So we're just putting the 26 funding to that contract. It's just, instead of bidding it, they're holding their prices, same as the trees.
Okay.
So with that offer, instead of prices going up, we're holding our prices for another year, and we're using the 26 budget. It goes on to the 25 contract.
Okay.
The 25 contract was
right.
was 112,500.
Okay. Is that something that's like pretty standard?
Yeah,
We're also those.
Or- Okay.
And we also do this work as well, correct? So these are called in when, I'll give you an example. Like,
well, what this does is this, typically our vector crews are handling more emergencies where culverts are plugged and failed and things like that. So we're running to those. With these guys, we're using them systematically to clean out the drainage systems. Like we'll just put them on 12 mile and say, start here, go to here. So we're kind of mandated through Eagle to clean our sewer systems. So this helps us try and reach the goal that we're required through on the MS4 permit.
Okay. And then when they do that, do we put up all the safety stuff or they have their own people?
We have a follow truck with them with an aero board.
Okay.
So they're reviewing the work that they're doing to make sure they're cleaning what they're.
So we have like 2 vehicles out there probably with us.
Well, we have their vehicle and our vehicle with an aero board. Yep.
Because I was on the forget what road it was, but DTE was, it's on Lasher going towards 8 Mile. And DTE was opening up like a sewer to go underground and looked like they had it all backwards. And I thought about, like, they don't have the, huh?
That was not.
No.
No, but it was weird. I was weird, like they had the flat truck in the front instead of the back.
Oh, yeah, no, we make sure that they follow our guidelines on how they do it. That's why we have an employee making sure it's done safely and we're getting what we're paying for.
Okay.
And just so I'm clear, so the modification on this is that it's not a 1 year, it's gonna be a 2-year contract. Because
Yeah, it's a 1 year extended to a second
From last
year.
year.
Yep.
Okay, understood.
Any other discussion on item 11, A through D? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None being, motion carries. Item number 12.
12A received bids for janitorial services for PVR and here at Beverly Hills. Recommend the board awarded to GDI Services.
Been moved and supported. Is there any discussion?
Who were we using before?
A company called Higher Grounds. landscaping
For janitorial?
for janitorial. They do janitorial too.
Okay,
It's just their business name.
okay, and they didn't want bid, they
They
didn't.
did bid. They were not low.
Any other discussion? No, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, on the end, motion carries. Item B,
Receive bids for U-channel signposts. Our annual requirements recommend board awarded to Dornville Sign Inc.
So moved.
Support.
the move and support, is there any discussion? All in favor, none being, all in favor, say aye. Aye, opposed, motion carries. Item number C, fuel tank island replacement.
Yeah, receive bids for that at our Milford Garage. It's recommended board awarded to Phoenix Environmental.
It's been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? I know we just don't want to, the Milford Garage, I think, some tank, right?
Let's use the fuel islands at Milford.
Oh, they did the storage.
Oh, the
Yeah.
storage tank.
Storage, yes.
Yeah. And, how often do we do these? Or this like 20-year plan, 5-year plan, or
30-year plan.
30-year plan?
Yes.
Do we know if there's an issue with soil remediation?
No, we don't. And typically we don't until, not typically, we don't because we have to replace it because of our insurance carrier requirements. So,
Yeah, it's coming out of the ground no matter.
yeah,
Yeah, the laws and everything.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
This is bid with our new requirements, correct?
yes.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye. Aye, opposed, motion carries. Item number 13.
We received bids for our 10-mile road over the Rouge River culvert replacement. It's recommended board awarded to Toby Construction.
It's been moved and supported. Is there any discussion?
Is it just because Toby is the lowest bidder? Is there any other reason?
Lowest bidder meeting specs. And they're a pretty good company. Been around a long time.
Yeah. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 14.
14A, segment board approved the purchase of 8 chloride tractors from Peterbilt through the Sourcewell contract.
So moved. The move is supported. Is there any discussion?
So is that what goes on the truck to distribute the chloride? That is the actual truck?
Well,
Yes, this is the chassis.
So it's only going to distribute chloride?
we have a tanker that hooks up to it. And then we're gonna outfit it for snow equipment. That's the next one.
Okay, that's it.
No,
So
no, no,
I did
no.
go for a ride along and so I,
No.
you know, I know a couple of things.
What we're doing is we're shipping, these are gonna be pure semis for the chloride tankers. Okay, they do the chloride program in the summertime. And then this is gonna give us the ability to move towards doing more anti-icing and de-icing with liquid. So we'll have salt savings in the end.
Okay, so this is only gonna have the chemicals
Yes.
on it, not other things.
Right.
Any other discussion? And we're supposed to get these in a year, 6 months.
Actually, the turnaround, Steve said the turnaround was gonna, I think, the fall. I think Steve said the fall, September or something like that.
Good.
Peterbilt was the ones that we had to switch and we went to Peterbilt.
Yeah, we went to Peterbilt instead of International. Last big bid we did, so,
But the next part sometimes holds us up too.
yeah.
So outfitting.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, item B.
Well, it's the outfitting of the 8 chloride tractors, so through my deal from Truck and Trailer Special.
The move is supported. Is there any discussion? So they're gonna outfit them, or we buy the material, equipment off them and do it ourselves?
Yeah, we're doing it ourselves this time, and that's something we haven't done in a while, but we've worked on a few recent items, and we're thinking with the addition of mechanics and it coming into summer, you know, early fall, we'll have the time to do it ourselves. And there's probably over a year turnaround to get the equipment outfitting done. So that's once we get the chassis. So
All right.
that'll speed it up.
Favor say aye. Aye. Motion, any opposed, none? Motion carries. Item number C,
Recommend board to approve the Sourcewell contract for a new sewer cleaner from Frederickson Supply.
so moved. It's been moved and supported. Is there any discussion?
Is this just an additional one, or is there gonna be, is there like an old one?
Yeah, it's a replacement.
Do we like auction it off, to scrap it, or?
Yeah, and typically what we'll do if it's still, you know, we have an auction, we use Gov Deals, and it's nationwide, and we've found them to be the most efficient and get the highest return for our equipment.
How do we usually do accounting for things like that? So if we're able to auction off some old equipment, those funds come in, does it like reduce that line item specifically from what you bought new, or is it
No,
just?
it goes in there.
No, it goes into the general fund.
Right. Goes in the general.
The only time it will reduce is if we're doing a trade-in.
Okay.
So if we're going to Michigan Cat and trading in a grader, that will be used to reduce the payment made to them. But everything else where we're buying a new piece of equipment alone, the salvage value goes to them in general fund.
It's not road revenue.
Okay, so what is happening with the general?
Well, as we go along, say a truck comes in at the bid higher.
So we can put it from there.
Maybe we have enough money, we're gonna add a couple miles on the overlay. You know, just things that come up. That's where typically we take it up.
Okay, does it just stay there for like a year or indefinitely?
Well, it gets carried forward. And
At year end, it becomes a fund balance, and then we have specific assigned fund balance, and then we have non-assigned fund balance. And that can carry over year to year, because we always want to have something there that's not assigned in case something comes up, like a pandemic or, you know, anything that could happen that's unexpected.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. And how many of these do we have in our fleet now?
Six. One in every district.
I've seen a bunch of them out in the Waterford area this last week.
Well, if you've seen a lot of them up there, a couple of them are probably being worked on.
yeah, these are high maintenance pieces of equipment.
And then the big cost is when they gotta dump that stuff, right?
No, actually, we've taken over that. That's, if you've seen the Vector dump area on the west side of the building up there, we've got that in a number of the garages now, and we've kind of handled that ourselves. So, that's one of the really positive things I think we've done. We used to have to work through Water Resource Commission, but now we're handling it in-house on our own. So the disposal of material costs us money, but, doing it in-house is helping out.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, none being, motion carries. Item number D.
Recommend board approve the Sourcewell purchase of 3 tractors with flail mowers.
It's been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Is this the first time we're using the Kubota? Good question.
We had Kubota equipment before, but I think that was a motor there. And not for a tractor, so.
He says no.
You said no?
It says we have 4 identical tractors in the fleet, so.
Okay, so there you have them.
Helpful.
Is there any other discussion? These are only gonna be used for cutting, or or does it have PTO on the back where we can use it for other stuff?
The intent is just to use them as mowers. We've got miles and miles and miles, and they'll stay busy all summer. So,
Then we put them on a trailer to get to the spots, right?
no, they drive right from the garages.
Okay, well,
So,
Well, and if you ever get asked, how much do we mow? You can tell them that much. You know, we get that question in the city, how come we don't mow?
yeah.
That's how much. The length of that blade.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, none being, motion carries. Item number 15, traffic control orders.
Recommend the board approve, rescinding a traffic control order on Southfield Road.
So move. It's been moved and supported. Is there any discussion?
So this means you're taking the traffic signal down.
Yep.
That's because there was a cost sharing agreement and they are not being responsive and paying their part. Okay. What are the implications of not having that traffic signal there from a safety standpoint?
There shouldn't be any. It's servicing an AT&T building that's not being used anymore. It's vacant. So it's not, the signal has been in flash for, since August of last year. And, like in my memo, it says that they haven't paid an invoice since 2023. So we've reached out between Jennifer and I several times to get a response with no response. So the agreement's been terminated and the signal will be removed, but it shouldn't cause any issues with any safety out on that road.
But they do owe us money.
They do.
So are we gonna put them into collections?
Well, Jennifer and I will be discussing that next as our
And we
next
should
step.
deny a permit.
I mean,
So, great.
delay it. and everything.
No, they're collectible.
So, yeah.
Thank you for that.
So we are gonna pursue, we don't have a rough dollar amount, or?
That's Danielle and I meet and go over the invoices, but then we also do sort of an ROI analysis of cost to recover versus what we would recover. So we go through to see, what's owed, who they are they collectible? Is it a company that's out of business, out of state? So that's all part of our return on investment analysis.
Okay. And I got a call on this from a few commissioners, so I do appreciate you explaining it to them.
Yeah, I did talk to him. Thank you.
Yep. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, none being, motion carries. Okay, item number 16, department report on finance department from Tim.
Thank you very much. We got it up for good afternoon. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. Give a little report on the finance department. And thank you for your time. Go ahead and advance. There you go. So here's an overview of our division heads. We have 4 divisions in finance, director's office, and Tim Beecroft. I was hired back in November 24th, 2003. So just getting into my 23rd year here. I've worked in all of these divisions in my career. Sean Henley has our accounting division. He's been here since August. Claudia Harbus has been here, hired shortly after me back in 2004. She has budget and projects, and Carol leaving since 2018 has our payroll division. And we'll get into a lot more detail on each. Okay. Here's an org chart. So we have 15 positions overall. And I have an accountant that reports to me. And then we have the 3 divisions, accounting, budget, and payroll. We have 5 accountants and 4 accounting assistants and 2 payroll processors. Next. Get some financial statistics out. So our budget 25-26 is 193.4 million. That's the initial budget. Our MTF revenue 136.7 million last fiscal year. Now the new funding package that was approved in October is still being implemented as far as, you know, a lot of the aspects of it are implemented, but the money trickling down and into our bank accounts happens either later in the year or early next fiscal year. So we're monitoring that very closely. We just attended a webinar on it yesterday, in fact. More on that later. Retirement system plan, $233.7 million in assets. And our healthcare trust for retirees, $113.6 million. And then last year, calendar year payroll, $37.4 million and $17.4 million annual pension payroll. Lots of big dollars. Okay, next up, director's office. Go over some of the main responsibilities. 3-year rolling financial plan. I'll get more into that in upcoming slides, but we forecast out on a rolling 3-year basis. Financial forecasting and tracking. We're analyzing revenue and expenses relative to expectations, relative to the budget, monitoring it on a daily basis. Revenue maximization and analysis. We have a great working relationship with the Oakland County Treasurer's Office. So we communicate on investment opportunities for our cash while we're holding it in the budget and spending it. We have different vehicles we can invest in, like CDs. We have local government investment products, and we have a thing called Michigan Class that provides interest on our cash and is very liquid. So as we monitor our cash flow, we're getting a return on investment as best we can with no risk. And then we maintain budget versus actual, updated multiple times per week. All the directors have real-time access to it, shared drive. So that's very important to keep that up. Next, retirement plan administration and accounting. That's all done in-house. We have a retirement board of trustees that meet 8 times per year. And 6 trustees on the board, and we review and monitor the investments. Eileen had a question about one of our money managers earlier, but that's what we're doing is we're reviewing the investment performance, and we're getting reports from our consultant on how they're performing relative to their peer group in that investment, net of fees as well.
Who is our consultant for our money?
They're called Mariner LLC.
Are they local?
They are not. So they used to be ANCO, and they were out of Ohio, and then Mariner, the bigger company, kind of bought them out, and I don't recall what area of the country they're from, but the folks that come to our meetings, one office is in Bloomfield Hills and another is from Cleveland, right down the street. For our folks, our local folks. And we also have retirement financial statement audits and production. So we're entering the general ledger, and we have an annual audit from Plant Moran, just like our overall financial audit.
The trustees, how are they selected or how often?
Yeah, so we have 6 trustees. 2 are by position. So the director of finance and the director of HR are called ex officio members. And then we have 3 elected officials. One is a retiree member. So any retiree of the road commission elected to a 3-year term. Hourly member, same thing. Hourly active employee is elected every 3 years for a 3-year term. That's salaried member as well. They stagger terms. So we have a retiree, an hourly, and a salary. And then our sixth member is a citizen member. That's an appointed position by board.
How often do we appoint that?
That's also every 3 years. That term's up in 2028.
2028?
We have had a person renew every 3 years and have not heard of any other interest in the position. So
We posted somewhere though, right? And
well, the 3 elections that are posted, the citizen member has not been posted because it's an appointed position. But I'll make sure to get ahead of it with next time the term is up.
or if we could get a list of all the trustees,
Absolutely. Next, capital asset accounting. We're monitoring capital assets are big purchases. Everything's approved. Our big purchases are approved from the board. So we put them on a list and we're monitoring, checking in with our fleet manager or other departments on, what's our order status? We were expecting this to come in, it's still on track, still the costs we were expecting, et cetera. And we're depreciating that equipment for our financial statement. So there's a lot to do with capital asset accounting. Then I review and approve invoices for payment. And we pay our bills on a weekly basis. And then there'll be more on that on another slide. The guidance support for the other 3 divisions.
About equipment, we depreciate it how long?
So road equipment is either 5 years or 8 years. In the state sets those depreciation schedules or state codes that are linked to each piece of equipment type.
We're always in need of depreciation.
What's that?
We're always in need of it, depreciation.
All right, replacement, yes, we have a fleet replacement plan to try to meet those disposal standards. Yeah. And then our land, buildings, land improvements, et cetera, they have longer depreciation.
Yeah, years.
Yeah. So next slide, we'll get a little more into our rolling financial plan. So the rolling 3-year financial plan, the formal process begins in October and completes in January and leads into the budget preparation. But we're internally updating the process throughout the year. All department directors and our deputy managing director participate in the process. We're putting together fixed costs and discretionary budget for each department to work with. And then any money forecasted to be left over, put on a needs list and starts as unmet needs. And then once we've gathered all that information and all the costs, meet together and work through it and, as a group, come up with what will make it into the budget proposal. And the process concludes after a planned budget is finalized for all 3 years. The first year of that 3-year budget then moves right into budget planning for the next fiscal.
Did we lease any heavy equipment or no?
Not much. I know occasionally we lease.
We rent once in a while, but we don't lease.
Yeah.
We've looked at that multiple times on leasing, and it's never come out to our advantage because essentially we don't pay taxes. There's no advantage to us.
Yeah.
And we've looked at that multiple times through the years.
Conservative approach to forecasting. You have that little graphic of the reporter there. We're not quite like that, but conservative approach is best to prepare the agency for unexpected issues like revenue shortfalls or larger than expected expenses. or any shift in priorities that could come. And the new for road funding is an example that we have estimates that are kind of shifting as time goes on. So we're monitoring it before we completely count on it. Very excited for that new road funding and preparing to put it to work.
Just as Tim mentioned, though, it's the timing of that new funding. It's still difficult for some reason.
Right.
For the state to provide us any guidance on when that money's going to come.
Oh, disbursements over the years, right?
Well,
So
the first
available, right?
The first part is the fuel tax. So that started January 1st. And we'll see our first check with that increase in March.
Right.
But what they didn't tell you is they took $50 million starting October 1st out of the MTF because that was part of the $600 billion. So the last 3 months of last year, we got less every month. So now we'll get more of the gas tax. And now we have to wait for the marijuana tax to fill up a bucket for $100 million for bridges. And
Right.
And it's when they collect it, it's complicated.
Right.
Yeah, that's the thing is because that comes at the end.
How much they collect?
That cascading thing like.
Yes, yes. And the other part of it is the corporate income tax, which has to fill up these buckets before it gets to us.
Right now, that fuel tax is making up for the shortfall in the first 3 months from that state fund, general fund contribution. So, we can count on getting that caught up and then going over a bit towards the end of the year. But the timing of the actual physical receiving the money is, we might not get into until next year.
Right. And we're going to have to adjust knowing that it'll always be the following year.
Lots of excitement for the new funding, and that comes with a lot of preparation, and then we have the time with the actual receiving. Next slide, accounting division. Main responsibilities are financial statement audits. So Plant Moran does an annual audit for our financials. Just wrapped up the physical part, and then it'll be presented at one of the next board meetings. We also have an annual state trunk line audit, where the state has obviously a lot of roads in the county that are their jurisdiction, but they contract us to maintain them for them all the summer and winter maintenance. So we have a contract and we bill them monthly and they audit us afterwards. That's our two main audits. Act 51 reporting, that's the state report that's more in-depth financial report that also contains data on our activity and our mileage data to report to the state, which all leads to how they allocate all that state funding to the different counties. Based on what are our primary roads, what are our local roads, demographics of our county, etc. Cash accounting, bank reconciliations, and cash flow monitoring. Make sure everything's tracked. Billing, we got lots of examples of billings that we're sending out. Road materials, salt, brine, coal patch, etc. that we're using for our own, but we have townships, cities that are buying from us. Trunk line and routine maintenance, that's all state level. Signal maintenance, all the bills we're paying to DTE and AT&T, and then along the maintenance we're doing on the signals get billed to the signal, and each signal, there's a couple thousand plus in the county, has its own signal agreement and cost share. So that all gets billed monthly. And then any other special work. Then our accounts payable, paying the bills on a weekly basis. We're processing invoices, creating reports for the board, and then at the end of the year, we're issuing and filing 1099s to certain vendors. Tax report for the vendors. And next, got some workflow examples on our disbursements. First example, or actually workflow examples that start on the next slide. So let me give you some examples of our disbursements first. We have weekly disbursement reports and P-card transactions containing contractor payments, purchase orders, service agreements, so mainly consultants, administrative and benefits expenses, our Blue Cross, dental, et cetera. Utility bills. We validate those to our accounts and pay them immediately. We have our P-card transactions and then check requests. They're often for registration fees and employee expense reports. Okay, next, get some of the examples of those disbursements. So an example, a road equipment purchase. So we have a road equipment plan we're discussing and we're budget planning. We get that approved for the budget. Board approves the budget, and then when it comes time to purchase, after bidding is accepted, board approves the purchase recommendation. And then purchase order is created, and then Yellow Arrow equipment is delivered, and we get a receiving document created from the department once equipment's received and it's verified that it meets all the specs. And then items come to finance. We get the purchase order information. We get the receiving document showing that it was signed off. It was received. It's in good order. And then we match to the vendor's invoice, and then we go ahead and pay. Next example is a maintenance concrete patch program contractor payment, pay estimate. So instead of invoices, we're doing like progress payments. And we have this program that generates these pay estimates that itemize all the materials used, the labor used, etc. So programs approved as part of the budget. Board approves the contract based on bids received and recommendation from maintenance staff. Then we have a pay estimate that's certified by maintenance staff periodically as work progresses. This pay estimate is then approved by the director of maintenance, director of finance, and our deputy managing director. So it's going through lots of sets of eyes. And then finance receives it, reviews and approves it for payment.
What does it mean that it's certified by the maintenance staff?
They're reviewing all the items, and they can ask the contractor any questions that they see based on the details. They're also kind of coding the budget part of it to the right township, the right activity and function of what the work is that's being done within the contract. And then they move it through.
Okay, so when you say maintenance staff, is that like a manager or supervisor or?
Yeah, that would be, that would be a manager. That would be the first signature. And then the director of maintenance would be the second.
Okay, but the manager is usually with the vendor or wherever the service is being.
Yeah, we have a C3 engineer.
Civil engineer.
We have 3 that manages the program. So
Okay.
he's putting the proposals together. He's maintaining the authorizations, the contract estimates, and invoices, and making
sure the invoice is what
matching what we have inspectors that do the work. They turn the work into the engineer, and then he's matching the numbers up and creating pay estimates.
Okay, so that's, when you say certified, that's what we're talking about, that process. Okay.
Hey, another example is our credit or P-card purchases. P-card program is maintained by our Central Operations Department per terms of Board Policy 12. That policy lays out spending limits, employees who can have it, and how those employees are approved, which is by the managing director. Not that many employees have a P-card. Employees make purchases within their departmental budgets and P-card spending limits. And then our Central Operations Department is gathering the receipts along with each individual employee's director's signature, and they match to the transactions. If they identify anything, they need to follow up with the employee. They have conversations with them before they pass it on to the finance department. They forward them on to finance in weekly batches for review and charge to the general ledger. So we're taking it by week, and we're just reviewing the payments as a second set of eyes, making sure it makes sense within the budget. And then the monthly bill that we get for credit card charges comes in all one swoop. We pay that first because the process of gathering receipts, reviewing, approving, circulating, matching that physical receipt, et cetera, it takes 30 to 60 days afterwards. So we're paying the bill in advance, make sure we don't get any late fees from the credit card. That's an overview of how the P-card disbursements payments work.
Can you go back?
Yeah.
So I know that it says within departmental budgets and P-card spending limits. Is that information broken down in board policy flow as far as what?
The limits are, yes.
Yes.
Okay,
It's each department has responsibility to push their budget.
okay. And so typically there's an expense and then the documentation is collected afterwards. And then, okay.
The physical credit card has restrictions on, what codes can be used to spend.
It's restricted on amount and restricted on what they can.
There's a transaction limit and a daily.
In a vendor limit.
You can't go buy dinner with the card. It wouldn't let you do that. Yeah.
What does that show up as, like, on our check? Like, we get the credit card
Credit card report, and that shows the transaction, the department, the employee, and then the vendor.
What does that look like on our payment register report?
So the payment register itself will only show the monthly credit card bill.
Okay.
Right.
What's that vendor for the credit card? What would the name
JP
be?
Morgan Chase.
JP Morgan Chase. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Ready to go into budget and projects. Main responsibilities, they have an annual single audit and schedule of expenditures for federal awards. So they do a lot of work because our road projects and a lot of our traffic signal program involve federal grants. That's a lot of work to keep everything tracked. There's a manual this thick on federal grants and how to properly report the spending and all the different requirements involved. So we keep a close eye on that, and we get audited annually to make sure that we're reporting everything correctly. Monthly, we're billing and balancing the projects because we have cost share. So regarding the federal grant, state of Michigan is administering the grant money. So we're sending a bill to them to reimburse us for the work they did based on the terms of the project, contract, and the grants. So we keep that up on a monthly basis. Many funding sources. We have local contributions, townships, cities. The state has some grants as well. Signal program, an annual traffic operations center project is the federal grant called the CMAQ grant. And we have special assessment district projects as well. That is for local neighborhood projects. The annual budget process is facilitated by this group. So once we have that financial plan completed in January, budget division takes it over, sends out forms to the departments, gathers information, and communicates with the finance director, anything that might be changing, and we're getting ready to do a final budget hearing. More on that in upcoming slides. And then budget appropriation transfers. We're adjusting the road improvement spring and the fall just for any changes that might happen, new grants that are secured, any changes in the project design, etc. So that's at least twice a year we're communicating on adjusting the budget. Fiscal year end carryover, like was on the budget agenda today, and any other needs that arise. Okay. The annual budget document, we start in January using year one of the financial plan. Budget manager establishes the calendar and the deadlines. We get narratives and exhibits from each department director. And then we get that all gathered, and we have budget hearings that take place in May for any last minute conversations on changes to that budget that was established in the initial financial plan. Then as presented, budget summary book is prepared for public hearing. That public hearing takes place in August. And if approved, we get an as adopted budget summary book published. And the next slide, that's a sample budget calendar. So you see it starts in March, a lot of different deadlines throughout the year. The public hearing last year was August 21st. And then finish the book, issue it in September, and start the process all over again. Next slide, if you know what that is from the movie Groundhog Day, where the reporter woke up every morning and it was the same day. It happened to be Groundhog Day when I was doing the slide, so it just fit perfect that I put that in. Here's the process again. That's all I have for budget, and then the summary of the payroll division. Main responsibilities, biweekly payroll, time entry review, and implementing new benefits and wage rates, and balancing and integrity checks. That's the most intense part of their job, especially in pay week. You know, best way to keep people happy is to give them a paycheck and they have no reason to complain or question. We have a heavy emphasis on making sure everyone has 80 hours, and major changes have been implemented and spot checked and balanced. And folks who are on a leave are getting paid correctly. Tax payments and filings. So city, state, and federal tax payments are submitted each payroll. Quarterly and annual tax filings are made for federal and state. And then at the end of the year, we're issuing the W-2s to our employees and 1099-Rs to our retirees. Retirement-related benefits, calculate pensions, and we service our retirees for anything related to their pension. We administer retirement savings plans, so that's for deferred compensation. 457 plan, that's the governmental version of the 401k. And then we have Roth, 401a, different options that employees have lots of saving opportunities. And then we prepare minutes and agendas for the retirement board. And then we're running a monthly payroll. And quick summary, this is our last slide. 26 biweekly payrolls and 12 monthly payrolls. Special pays and interims. Interims are an off-cycle pay for different benefits that come out throughout the year. For example, that would be retention pay, which is our longevity payment for our employees. We implemented the Earned Sick Time Act changes into the payroll system, adding pay codes, accrual methods, had to front load some time to comply with the law, and then programming the system. We implemented all the new union contracts that came up mid 2025 and early 2026. Creating and distributing election forms to employees and working on more programming and testing and payroll. Again, process of adding ADP software for the processing side and happy customers. So payroll, you know something's wrong if you hear from people, and you know something's not wrong if you don't hear from them. So that's all I have. Any questions? Follow-up?
I do.
Awesome.
So, that was amazing.
Thank you.
So this is a hypothetical question. If you were me,
Yeah.
okay, and you are responsible for reviewing and approving checks, reviewing credit card reports, what information would you want, or what questions would you ask?
Especially, you're newer.
And like you're not you.
Yeah. You're seeing this every week. I would say maybe spend a half day with it.
Okay.
Maybe we can go through a lot of what we do in the department, but specifically, what we're seeing coming through for our billings. I would say that would be a great aspect.
Do you prefer mornings or afternoons?
I would say whatever works for you, I can make it work.
Okay. All right, well, I'll reach out to you and see. I don't want to come like at a time where there's a lot going on. I'd rather come.
Yeah.
It's like there's always a lot going on.
Yeah, it's definitely a very...
Not as much.
Not as much going on. I just want to do my due diligence. Like, I would just come here and be like, sure, everybody else is fine. But I do understand that I'm responsible for this all.
Oh, yeah, we'd be happy to have you.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll work out something that works best for both of us and maybe have an update next meeting.
Sounds good. And then Plant Moran, I don't see them on here actually. Do we have a date that they're going to come and give their audit?
Usually schedule it after we have a internal meeting.
Right.
Okay.
That internal meeting's next week, so it'll likely be first or second meeting.
Most likely a second meeting in March, I would guess.
It would be a regular agenda item, would be.
Yeah,
Okay.
it wouldn't be showing down there.
Okay.
It will come on the agenda as an agenda item.
Is there any other questions for Tim? Tim, do you have anything? No. I have. Are you fully staffed in your department?
Yes, we are. Now, with all this new road funding and anticipated more projects, et cetera, we'll see if we need more staff, but right now.
Do we have anybody close to retirement in your department that we need to look out?
Yes, we
And we have
in the budget and projects division, we have. Working on that. Yes, we have that in mind. We've talked about that, especially when we did our annual review.
Good. And then, do we have like prompt payment we're following guidelines for the outside contractors?
Yeah, especially the contractors, we know to keep them working, we gotta keep them paid.
But we get like a 30 days, 90 days, 60 days, or?
Every bill we get, the second we get it, obviously it's a weekly process, so we get something by Tuesday morning, we pay it Friday.
There's some issues in other industries with that, so.
No, it's been our mantra for a long time that we pay. When we get the bill, we pay.
And we've had vendors say that they give us better prices on our contracts because they know they're going to get the money.
And when they don't get a check, like every 2 weeks, they'll call right away because they know something must have went wrong, whether it's on their end or our end. So that's been something we've done for years.
Our vendors, like our printers and things, are just amazed that they get paid so quickly because that's not typically the case in government business.
Any other questions? Thank you for your report. We need to do a motion to approve the reporting table or not necessary? Okay. Okay, item number 17, new business.
I am not,
So I don't know if this technically is it's more of a question. So I don't know that I saw the break room here, but I know I saw the break room over at Southfield Garage. Where does that like fall in? Like when we think about work environment and things like that, like I thought it was really nice that the students brought that over, and I know that it'll go around to the district offices, but should we have a budget for that or something just to enhance? Because people spend a lot of time at work, and I thought that the refrigerator over there and some of the other like appliances were a little bit to be desired, and I don't know. I feel like if they spend a lot of time, especially in the winter there, so curious.
there's a lot. Just go look at our Waterford facility, which one do you do?
Well, I'm saying all of them. Is that do we even have a say, or can we just say, hey, is that something we could think about just from a work environment, employee
We can talk
satisfaction?
about a lot of that stuff. But yes, we have old facilities.
Yeah, all the buildings are tired.
I toured quite a few of them. I should say 90% of them.
Mm-hmm.
And all the break areas, the restrooms, except for the Troy Garage, can use a fresh up,
Mm-hmm.
The bathrooms and
And some of that's where do you stop?
Yeah.
Because just like, I use Waterford as an example. We don't have urinals in one of the men's bathrooms. And that's because to do it, you got to tear up the floors and the walls. So once you were tearing up floors and walls in a 70-year-old building, where do you stop? We have our District 3 Lake Orion Garage. That's in my view, in worse shape than Southfield is to do it. But there again, the building that is there at Orion, I don't even know how old that building is.
Yeah.
But it's 1920s, 30s.
The original part of it.
You'd have to knock that down. So it's a matter of where do you go? Where do you stop? Where do you start? You do one, another group's gonna say, what about ours?
Yeah, and we've done some of them. We redid the break room in Milford. The windows, I think, were leaking. We had window issues at the time. So we replaced all that, the windows on the building, and then we redid the break room for them because at the time that was a lot worse than the others. And just try to pick some of it off. Yeah. Yeah.
But in Southfield, with our limited funding, we chose to build and it's what Garage Supervision wanted. We built the pole barn so we can park trucks in.
So you think we need to do a capital improvement on the break area for
Just a consideration, whether it's looking at, the appliances, like a microwave, just maybe.
3-year plan or something.
Yeah.
All those auxiliary buildings.
So typically, appliances been bought by the employees themselves through the years.
Mm-hmm. Or donated.
Even here.
Yeah.
Just something to think about. I don't know how it works, but.
Yeah, no, I agree that Dennis is aware. I did call Dennis on one issue. He did address it.
Mm-hmm.
But, I don't know how often do we do a 10-year remodel on stuff. I don't know what our policy is.
We haven't done anything. We're just trying to keep this place afloat.
Yeah.
When funding was so short.
Yeah.
There were times back in the early 2010s that full coverage, we were only running with about 60 trucks. We're supposed to have 109. Funding was so bad, we went down from 556 employees to 350. We didn't lay one person off, but that's how tight things are around here. So it's not like we have a lot of money to improve anything. We pinched pennies a long time, and that's why we came up with plans. We did a brand new electrical shop. And we refurbished and made the sign shop bigger, got the testing people out of 2 trailers. and got them in a building. They'd been in a trailer for God knows how long. And then, well, we're back at it because now some of the construction staff is in a trailer. We had to bring that back. So should we be looking at getting people out of a double wide trailer versus moving a lunchroom? Who makes that decision?
Well, I don't think it has to necessarily be one or the other. I don't know how funding works. I just wanted to bring that up. I don't know if there's like a fundraising opportunity or,
It's choices.
you know, I know that we probably do surveys and maybe, you know, the different garages may decide they want certain things and maybe we put like a Christmas wish list, you know, do a press release or something. I don't know.
Do you want to try to allocate so much for each garage to
Well, I don't
do a little
know what the
freshen
priorities
up?
are. I've got a
That
sense
they
of
could
time.
probably do in-house with a little paint and this and that?
I think we should, each building should be looked at. And then
Let us,
assess it.
let's get a look at it and we'll come back to you.
I think maybe a 3-year assessment, you know. Each building needs to be looked at and then assess each building and then you go 3 years out.
You want to put that in a motion and,
You don't need to put it in.
well, we just get the ball rolling, you know?
I think that's,
Gonna do it. You know, I don't need motion. Okay. I mean, you saw the cost of remodeling here in Waterford. And I just tell you, I mean, I am gonna say it again. That Waterford building is terrible. Can't say that it's terrible. It's got hazardous materials in it, non-functioning bathroom. I really think that should be the focus. And there's people that live in that environment every day.
Well, what bathroom's not functioning?
The one over by traffic safety doesn't have the urinal, doesn't have urinal.
And forever it hasn't?
No.
No, we had to
Because
pull them.
the pipes have corroded. And to fix the pipes, you have to tear up the floor. If you tear up the floor, you gotta tear up the wall.
I'd be happy to take any of you on a tour.
Yeah, go with Mary on his tour.
Yeah, I would. I did it. My time's precious. So I don't know when I'm available, but I would love to go up and look at all the roofs and the air units too, eventually.
Whenever you want.
And like Jim has a thing in play that he wants to do a 3-year, what it's gonna be, you know? I mean, that way we can get a big grip around it. Yeah. I'll reach out to you.
Okay.
And then I had an issue with the Legionnaires, what's going on in the county. And we checked all ours. Do we have something in place?
I've asked the county several times and we're waiting for the risk manager to get back with us. The county, yeah,
Diane McBroom.
yeah.
She gave the presentation and I sent it to Mary because she gave it to EDI or Public Health. I forget which committee it was.
Yeah.
she say last.
They haven't decided whether they're gonna test our water or not. We get the same water, the system. Yeah, let me know because I've asked several times and I mean, obviously,
I know about.
okay.
We want to make sure we do our
Thank
part.
you. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Any other new business? Well, thank you, everybody, for attending and accommodating your schedule. Somebody had a conflict, so we had to move the meeting in the afternoon. Our next meeting date is February 26th. That's going to be at the same time, 1 o'clock or 4 o'clock?
At the same time.
All right, 1 o'clock.
1:30.
Okay.
I'm sorry, 1:30. All right, motion to adjourn? Yes.
You spoke with her on Waterford?
Yeah.
Yeah.